think that all is on our head, isn't it? We're trying to carry all the burden on our head. In the process, we tend to keep our upper back muscles very, very stiff. Just imagine you're very stressed. All your upper back muscles and neck muscles are very, very stiff. If on a daily basis, if you're stressed, on a daily basis, your upper back muscles are in the state of constant contraction. What happens to a muscle if it's in a constant state of contraction? Suppose you hold your thumb like this for 24 hours, you won't be able to fold it later because it goes into a spasm. Similarly, if your neck muscles are in a state of constant contraction over a period of time, you develop neck spasms. If you understand why people get cervical spondylosis, lumbar spondylosis, it's all because of stress. Degenerative disorders do happen, okay, but the root cause of all that is definitely stress. Now coming to digestive difficulties, people think that food is one of the positive factors for acid peptic disorder or gastritis. Let me make a small diagram and show you how it is. This is the stomach. Not a good artist, but I can make a small diagram for you. This is how the stomach bag looks like. And from here comes the food, isn't it? When it is time to eat, the body makes you feel hungry, isn't it? What is that hunger? The stomach releases an acid called hydrochloric acid, concentrated hydrochloric acid. This concentrated hydrochloric acid is so strong, so concentrated, that if you pip it out 2 or 3 drops of this acid and put it on your skin gets burnt. But the stomach flora is designed in such a way that it doesn't harm the internal flora of the stomach at all. Because when we eat, the food first starts mixing with the saliva, and then with gastric juices, pancreatic juice, duodenal juice, and the bile juices that are secreted by the liver. Food, when mixed with all these acids and enzymes, starts digesting properly. How does the stomach know that hydrochloric acid has to be released? This stimulus is given by the brain. The brain says, come on, it's time to eat. So, release hydrochloric acid into the stomach. The brain sends signals to the stomach through a nerve called the vagus nerve. All of you must have heard about it. It's the 10th cranial nerve. Now the brain sends signals through the vagus nerve to the stomach. So stomach releases hydrochloric acid and the digestion occurs properly. But when the mind is stressed, when the body is stressed, the brain sends wrong signals through the vagus nerve to the stomach to release hydrochloric acid when it is not needed. When there is no food to mix with it, what does the hydrochloric acid do? It has no work. Then it starts eating the flora of the stomach gradually. The nature of the acid is to burn. When it burns, it pains. The nature of the acid is to create belching. So there's burning sensation in the chest and in the abdomen. That is called gastroesophageal reflux disorder. If you undergo an endoscopy at this point, they will say grade 2 GERD. Whenever we are stressed, unnecessarily hydrochloric acid is released. It starts eating the stomach flora, leading to gastritis or acid peptic disorder. Eventually, if this happens constantly over a period of time, this erosion leads to something called an ulcer. What happens to the ulcer? They treat ulcers, don't they, with medication, but sometimes medicines don't work. Then what do? They operate. What do? Do they operate and scoop out this ulcer and leave the body like that? No. They cut off the supply of the vagus nerve from the brain to the stomach through a surgery called vagotomy, wherein the supply of the HCl to the stomach is curtailed, leading to further digestive disorders because you cannot digest food properly anymore. So where was the cause of gastritis now, friends? Similarly is every other disorder, migraines and headaches, menstrual problems, which is because of hormonal changes in the body, so on and so forth. Is there a way out of it? What does it do to our body? Definitely there is. Let's learn how to cope with this stress, understand these problems, and carry on with our lives. Here, I'm going to talk to you now about 50 interesting strategies that I have come up with to deal with stress. They're all very interesting ones. I wanted to make this talk very entertaining also, so I didn't want to, after giving you an introduction about stress, wanted to tell you what different things can help you get out of stress and this, juggle kind of a lifestyle every single day. Coping with stress. Firstly, to cope with stress, you must first recognize your own limits. Please read the slides. Firstly, acknowledge that you're going through a very difficult time. Most people don't do this. If they are stressed, they don't acknowledge themselves about it. They don't acknowledge, they do not want to accept the situation. Try to gain control of the situation by asking yourself, how can I change this situation for myself? Make time to rest and relax and adopt a program of healthy eating and exercising. To cope with stress again, know what stressors disturb you. Be aware of times in your life which were very stressful and particularly stressful, and if you experience a few major stressful events within a short period of time, be extra gentle to yourself. Friends, there are two kinds of stress. Don't think that all stress is despair. There's sometimes good stress and bad stress also. Good stress is called eustress. Bad stress is called distress. Suppose there's a wedding in the family. That excitement is also stress. You're enjoying it, but at the same time, your body is going through stress. Your son stands first in college. That excitement is also a stress to the body because adrenaline is getting pumped up again and again. But that stress is good to the body because it releases two hormones in the system. They are called happy hormones, endorphins and serotonins. Endorphins and serotonins are released in the brain when the body and the mind is in a very happy state of condition. There are certain therapies, certain things that I'm going to tell you, certain tips that will help you, secrete more of endorphins and serotonins. And convert your stressors or opportunities into growth-enhancing reactions and then into strength. That develops resistance towards all the diseases that we talked about just now. Most people, friends, who are stressed are sleep deprived. Do you all agree? How do you cope with this? Find out if you're actually sleeping well first, because whenever I say, are you stressed, try to acknowledge that you're stressed first, then you'll be able to handle the situation better. Find out, do you need an alarm to wake up in the morning? Do you hit the snooze button regularly? If you hit the snooze button regularly, it means you need more sleep. You still want to sleep. Your body is in need of more rest. Do you fall asleep wherever? Anybody sleeping here?
Yeah.
And do you find yourself falling asleep during the day? If yes is the answer to these questions above are a sign that you're not getting good sleep. How do you ensure you get good sleep? Because that is where most of your stressors will, get a way out. What are the do's? Eat an early dinner if you are having problems with sleep. Make it light on fat and heavy on complex carbohydrates. Check with your doctor if you have any problem. Have a cup of warm milk and set yourself a regular sleep pattern every day. Take a warm, relaxing bath. Aim at a peaceful evening. Save conflicts with family members for the daylight hours. Don't fight with the family members just before you go to bed. And leave yourself some wind down time for an hour or two before you go to bed. That ensures good sleep. And what are the don'ts, which are very important? You can observe that the don'ts I have put in red color. Because you have to be careful about this. You can watch the colors that I have used in my slides. Very particularly, I have used certain colors, green for good, red for bad, blue for good, things like that. Don't drink alcoholic beverages in an attempt to get sleepy. You will only disrupt your sleep pattern. Don't read, work, or watch TV in bed. If you can't sleep, get up and go to another room. Avoid a heavy meal, and don't let a night or two of insomnia upset you. Worrying about sleep makes it harder. Coping strategies. Here, I have listed 50 ways in which you can cope with your stress. If you have paper pads, please make notes of it. Number 1, meditation, art of living, a good massage, a breathing exercise like what Dr. Pai always advocates, a 3SRD breathing, and trying to be positive about situations. Take a spa date, go to a spa, unwind, get organized in your work. Most of us are not organized in our day-to-day. We do not know how to manage time. People say they are very busy, But when people say they are busy, I tell them that they do not know how to manage time. That is why they are busy. Otherwise, you can get time for everything in life. Even your own office table, get it organized. When you're working, if your working table, workstation is not organized, it makes you stressed. So get organized in your local spaces also. Eat a healthy diet. Indulge in sandalwood facials. We are from the land of sandalwood, so that's why I put sandalwood facials. And it's a coolant also. There's something called color therapy. Browse about it, find out. It is very effective. Do energy channeling, pranic healing, things like that. Past life regression therapy, crystal therapy, hypnosis, and kinds of it. Fight your fear, calm down, and breathe deep. Get your needs met. Ask for support. There's nothing wrong in asking for support from people. It's not a shame to ask for support or a helping hand. Forgive easily. Here, I want to add one more thing. Forgive and forget. Because it's always said, man gives, gets and forgets, and God gives and forgives. Isn't it? Scream and go for the punch bag to vent your aggression. If you're very stressed, if you're very aggressive, go get a punch bag. It removes, it's a vent for your stress. Don't show it on, the family. Yes. Whoever does it or whoever say only that. Seek support. See how sweetly and honestly he acknowledged what. Anyway, seek supportive people. Learn to say no. It is very important. We get obligated by people, obligated by the society. Many times that leads to stress. So learn to say no, which is very important. Set boundaries. Put limitations to how much ever you could execute and deliver. Delegate work to others. We think, especially women, we think we are super women. We want to do everything by ourselves, show that we can do everything by ourselves. We must learn to delegate work. Music therapy definitely helps.
I think delegated to.
Is it? See? She's talking her heart out, Mr. Nandakumar. Please listen to her.
That is why he's stressed out.
See, during this talk, all the secrets are coming out. Exactly. Take time out for yourself. Most people don't do that. Love your career.
What is the Samaram trick?
Did I say that? Alarm trick. If you're finding that you're not able to manage time, for example, you want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. My day starts at 4. So my alarm is always set at 3:45. Nevertheless, my eyes also open at 3:20, 3:30 in the morning. So play the alarm trick if you want to be less stressed. If you want to get up at 5 in the morning, at least set the alarm at 4:30, 4:40 so that you sure for no you are going to hit the snooze button. So don't get stressed after getting up at 6 o'clock in the
I want to
morning.
add one point.
Please, please, please.
Even without setting alarm,
If you,
we can wake up.
yeah, yeah.
What you have to do is just set the timing what you want to get up. You keep on observing through the minute
Yeah.
and go to sleep.
Exactly. It will come to, like Mr. Varsanath, years of practice. Of course, it's a good tip and we will all follow that. Because what he means, what Mr. Varsanath means to say is our mind is so powerful that it will listen to us. We can actually tame our mind and tell our mind, I want to be up at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, exactly even without an alarm you can be up. The mind is so strong and powerful. Hire help, play with pets, read a good book, go for retail therapy and stress the husbands. Retail therapy is shopping, isn't it? Go for shopping, it de-stresses a lot of people, isn't it? So stress them and you do the shopping. Spend time with nature. Most people have a beautiful garden at home. You don't even know what plants grow there.
I think 51 point should be don't go for shopping.
Talk to a friend. Tell them about your problems. Take support from them. Read good news only. How can you do this? You must know that very recently Amitabh Bachchan in his Twitter has said, the last page of the newspaper is all about the achievements of the humankind, and the first page is all about his defeat. It is so true. Because every day you open the paper and what now? From honor killing to everything, you find it there today. That's enough to stress you. Get up in the morning, take the newspaper in your hand and start feeling stressed about the whole life. Read good news only. Take a vacation. Friends, we are all so wound up in our day-to-day activities. Even when we go on a vacation, we do not know how to unwind. We don't know what to do. Don't know how to spend time. You end up, I work for the Windflower Resorts in Spa, their corporate consultant. I'm there for about 2 hours every day. And that's a place where corporate people, are sent to unwind. You understand what I'm saying? Sent to unwind. In Japan, there are hoardings everywhere, it seems, saying, please go on a holiday. Because they're always at work. It's a issue of prestige to the wives. If the husband comes back home very early than the neighbor's husband, it's a matter of shame. It's a matter of shame in Japan. So they put hoardings saying, please take a vacation.
In Greece they write, please come back to work.
Yes, they do. They're struggling to finish their vacation because they do not know how to unwind there. So when a family comes to a resort on a vacation, they're sent on a vacation rather, the husband is as usual stuck to the laptop in the room. The wife goes away shopping. The kids don't know what to do.
Mobile.
That's their holiday. And all 4 of them are on their independent mobile phones. They're just waiting for the vacation to be over because they know back there's so much backlog to catch up with. So try to unwind when you're on a vacation. Take a nap. There's nothing wrong in it. Some people think sleeping during the day, of course, is unhealthy, but that's something that we should be doing. Indulge in a hobby. Most people take interest in a hobby after they retire. That's too late for them to pick it up. Start nurturing the hobby right today. That will be your friend throughout your life. Tickle your funny bone. Watch a nice flick. Watch, a good movie which is a comedy. Enjoy sunlight. Pamper yourself. And don't work on weekends. I go to work on weekends too. So there's no excuse. Laugh therapy. I'll come back to this laugh therapy again. Go for a long drive. Watch your favorite flick. play with kids, do touch therapy, go for a long hot bath, indulge in gossip. Very heal yourself, diverting your mind, guided imagery with vivid imagination, and indulge in food. Friends, there was a person called Mr. Norman Cousins. Have you heard about him? Norman Cousins. He was, in the US, editor of a newspaper called the Saturday Review. Now he, in the year 1964, goes to Moscow to report the World War. There, in the process of reporting, it is so cold, actually cold in Moscow, he develops a disease called ankylosing spondylitis. Ankylosing spondylosis is spondylitis of the spinal bones of the vertebra. Now, the doctors give him about a month to live. He goes back to the US. They give him a month to live. They say this disease has no cure at all. Goes back home, and he's on a wheelchair, doesn't know what to do. The family is all busy. The grandchildren help him to be occupied at home. What do? Before they go out to school every day, before the family goes out to work, they would put a movie on the television set, either of Laurel and Hardy or Marx Brothers or whoever. This gentleman sitting on the wheelchair would sit, enjoy the movie, laugh, 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 and eventually, over a period of about 6 months, he started feeling so energetic that he could abandon the wheelchair, stand up, stand in front of the mirror, and laugh about himself. He hardly laughed. We think laughing is, even if a small child is laughing too much at home, say, you know, don't we do this? We don't let the children laugh also. We grow old because we stop laughing. And he gets better. The doctors who had written him off see him back in the hospital, walking around. His association with the Saturday Review newspaper gave him an edge to write about his experiences, and he came up with a book called The Anatomy of an Illness by Norman Cousins. The Journal of American Medicine in the year 1989 published his experimentation with his disease. It acknowledged that laugh therapy helps heal the body 100%. If you find this book, please read this, a very motivating book by Norman Cousins, The Anatomy of an Illness.
Inner jogging, it's called inner jogging.
Yes, inner jogging, because it massages the internal organs. A good belly laugh helps you burn about 3.5 calories. Some people laugh in such a way that it can even register on a Richter scale. That's actually very good. That's actually very good because it massages the internal organs so very well. It releases the endorphins and the serotonins in the brain that act as happy hormones. That is enough to release stress. Nobody can laugh unnecessarily, isn't it? You can only grin. But to laugh, it has to come from within. The last of the 50 coping strategies that I was talking about is indulge in food. And this is a very important thing. When I say indulge in food, it just means healthy food to keep you de-stressed. Include raw fruits and vegetables, complex carbohydrates, more fish and poultry for omega-3, good breakfast every day, and low-fat foods. And say no. And say no or be sparing with refined sugar. Anything that is pure white, avoid it, except milk and curd. Maida, refined flour, refined sugar, refined salts, ice creams. Anything that is refined, please avoid. Salt, alcohol, caffeinated beverages, and high-fat foods. I go about talking about healthy eating habits, wherein I say, whatever you can eat raw, don't cook them. and eat. Whatever you can cook, don't deep fry. And whatever you have to deep fry, don't eat. So avoid high-fat foods. And this is like just to show you how meditation helps, deliberate thinking. And then comes Ayurveda. I come from a background of Ayurveda, so I'm just trying to tell you how Ayurveda also helps to de-stress, because it's a science of life that comes from the Rig Veda and the Atharvana Veda, and it helps attain liberation through healthy living. Ayurveda is a complete philosophy of life, preventive as also a curative measure. It's also rejuvenative. It's designed specifically to achieve and maintain both internal and external stability. There are various therapies in Ayurveda which can help you de-stress. Number one is Shirodhara, wherein you can see a warm stream of oil going on the forehead of a person for nearly 45 minutes to an hour. This has proved that it releases endorphins and serotonin in the system because the mind calms down and goes into a tranquil. There are other therapies called Abhyanga and Sveda, which is a very synchronized massage. Netra Tarpana, or treatment to the eyes wherein pure ghee is used, helps people with computerized syndromes, migraines and headaches. Patrapinda Sveda, wherein boluses are used in neck and back spasms. Udvartana, an anti-cellulite therapy which is also a deep tissue massage. And Padabhyanga, a reflexology massage of the foot wherein it releases all the stress and the tension in the feet. Whenever you take a good foot massage, you feel you are relieved of all the stress, aches and pains, because that's where all the nerve endings, end up. And most importantly, please listen to yourself. People under stress make matters worse by telling themselves, like, I'll never make it. It always happens to me. Why me? And something happens to you, ask this question. Why only me? Why didn't it happen to my neighbor? Isn't it? Take time to sort what you're really thinking. Tell yourself, I've gotten through tough situations before. I can get through this. This should also pass. Though it may seem unlikely that this will make a difference, some people find that it does help them cope. And if all else fails, there's no rule that says you must handle stress all by yourself. Take professional help. Go for little counseling. Go with a support group or a workshop. And if you feel overwhelmed by multiple stressors, remember, there's nothing wrong in seeing a good doctor. I'm here, okay? And a good therapist. Thanks. You know the number 0, don't you? You know the number 0?
Yes, ma'am. It's here by
Actually, it doesn't have any value if I say just 0. But if I add 1 next to it, it becomes 10. 10 has value. If I add another 0, it becomes 100. The more I go on adding zeros to it, the value of 1 increases. Suppose I take off the 1. What happens? As many zeros are there have no value. Similarly, the 1 that fell just now, dropped off, was you. And all the zeros are the material pleasures that we acquire. If we are not okay, any amount of acquiring we have has no meaning, no value. So that which has a real true value is that you. So take good care of yourself and then you see how it works. It's almost done. Well, that was any which ways the last slide. So thank you so much for a patient listening. So take good care of yourselves. Remember that 1 is you. Take good care of that 1 and everything will have a substance, everything will have a meaning attached to it. Thank you so much. I'm open to questions. If anybody has any questions, please. Yes.
Doctor, if stress has already done a lot of damage to your body and mind,
Yeah.
can you still recover from it?
Yes, you can. That is why I gave you so many strategies. When you do that, your body learns how to get back to it.
You're doing major damages.
Yes, it does. Once the damage is done, it is done. We have to get treated for it. For example, if there are cardiovascular irregularities, when there is excessive blood clotting because of pressure that's created in the blood, you do have to go in for regular invasive, non-invasive therapies. There's no way out of it. Once diabetes sets in because of stress, there's no way out of it. You can manage your diabetes, for instance, with de-stressing, diet, your drill or exercise, and ultimately you'll have to stick on to that. So beware of stress in the first instance. Don't invite problems into your home. They're all permanent guests. They're not going to go away again. Yes. Yes, please.
Anything called stress meter is there? That is just
I don't know.
you really don't know where your stress can be.
If I find a lot of entrepreneurs here, I think we should come up with one, isn't it?
Stressometer.
Yes.
They have two allopathic doctors. So
Yes.
do they agree with what you say?
Yes, please. I'd love to hear from Dr. Ravindranath and these.
Where do they differ from your?
Yes. Do you differ in the first place?
Yeah, we differ. I definitely, to certain extent. Stress has been there, not that it is something new which has appeared in, say, last 10 years or 15 years.
Yes.
It's been there, it has been there for many years. See, the stress totally doesn't depend on just the lifestyle, it is your personality.
Yes.
Somebody who sees a ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತರನು ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ಹುಲಿ ತರನು ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ.
Exactly.
Somebody who sees as ಇಲ್ಲಿ will say ಇದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡು.
Very true.
Somebody who sees that as a ಹುಲಿ will start running.
Exactly.
So not just the lifestyle or the stress,
Yeah.
but it is the attitude, it is in the genes.
Perception.
Perception. It is to large extent it is also in your genes. Equally, in the same setup, there are different kinds of people who handle the situation in different ways.
I agree. I agree. In fact, I had to make that point, but couldn't make it. You give any situation to two different persons, there are two different ways they handle it. So it all depends on how strong they are in will and in mind. And when you say it all is in the genes, you don't have to own it up. Your parents own it up for you, isn't it?
Another thing is,
Yes.
say a few years ago, maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, all these psychiatric problems was thought as something to do with the psyche,
Yeah.
something which was not defined or
As psychosomatic.
anatomically or biochemically.
Right.
But as the science has evolved, it has become something like a biochemical disorder. As you
Right.
told, it is something to do with the serotonin,
Yeah.
adrenaline.
Right.
So they have come out with molecules to tackle all these problems.
Right.
So again, what we have understood about brain is only still maybe 1%.
Lot.
There is 99% is still remains.
I agree. That is why I said stress did exist long ago, but it became the buzzword in the 90s. That's when everybody started talking about, stress and psychosomatic disorders, even fever, psychosomatic. They say every disease is considered psychosomatic today. So that's when people started thinking about it and talking about it rather. Until then, stress did exist. It existed from the time, life started in this. Everybody gets stressed. Even animals get stressed, when they're ready to pounce on another animal. They are in a state of stress. They are in a state of alarm. They also go through a resistance phase and an exhaustion phase. But we as humans are talking about it because there are ways to get out of it.
Sadhu.
Yes, please.
There are so many ways to have stress, especially meditation,
Yeah.
you have dancing,
Yeah.
and you have yoga. Why there is not a culture in our country where there can start from the childhood itself?
There is. There
Like
it is
not
there.
too much. I don't want to.
Tobacco.
No. I think it's
Yes, it's a very valid point. It's a very valid should inculcate all these, art forms also in children from their very young age, so that they find a solace in that, when they get stressed, because you cannot avoid stress in today's world. But when you are into such art forms and things like that, you can find solace in that and shift over to that when you're stressed. And of course, I agree with what you say. Yes. Yes.
Sports create more stress or not because of competition? Sports.
Everything creates stress today. It all lies. Why sports? Because there is a competition in every arena. It all lies in how the doctor said that. It all lies in how you handle it. There's competition everywhere. Cutthroat competition, politics, whatnot. Yes, sir.
Can anyone make out seeing our physical